Get your 2026 calendar sorted, Wine Coven, because the gals are going to Mexico City in January of 2026, and we want you to come along.
This trip will be an immersive whirlwind of food, culture, tequila. We will see the works of legendary artists like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. We're going to try our hands at mezcal mixology, stroll historic city streets, and enjoy tacos and tequila like a local. Whether you have visited Mexico City before or it's your first time, it's my first time, it's her first time. This itinerary is designed to pack a lifetime of memories into just 4 colorful, exciting, enriching days with us gals.
And tickets go live Friday, April 18th, so join our Trova mailing list to get access. You can find that link below or in our bio. Spots go very fast, so do not miss out on this amazing trip, and hopefully we will see you in Mexico City.
Hasta luego!
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where 2 friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesota accents.
We do. That is what we do.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm actually drinking today.
I was going to make a White Russian and then I didn't have time.
Well, that's on you for
I know.
losing your phone at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee.
Tell them what you did.
I lost my phone at Hy-Vee. But
And
actually,
go back.
I left it. Oh, that's so stupid. First of all, there were so many people over the age of 75 there.
That's rough.
It is a Thursday, midday, but my God, they're slow.
Yeah.
They're
God
slow
bless
and
'em.
dangerous behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That's from Dumb and Dumber. That's not my opinion. Half of it's my opinion. Okay. It took me so long to just run my circuit through the store.
Run your cervix through the store.
And then I'm buying Tito's,
Yep.
but I'm at self-checkout,
Mm-hmm.
so they have to come over and check my ID and punch in their little number.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, no employees for miles are making eye contact with me. There's no self-checkout person.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
I'm doing 99.9% of your job for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Where are you? Is anyone alive out there?
Keep checking them.
Someone start checking them.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go outside, put all my bags in the trunk of my car, put my cart in the stall, get in my car, was going to text you and tell you I was going to be a couple minutes late
Yep.
because I was already running late.
Yep.
Couldn't find my phone. It wasn't in my purse. I went to the back. I dug through all the bags, thought I put my phone in my bag, one of the grocery bags. Nope. And it was just so hot outside. I almost went back inside, but then I checked the cart that I had shoved in the cart corral. It was just right there.
Oh, thank God.
Stupid.
So I've done that. We've all done it. We've
It just
all
felt
done it.
particularly egregious today because I have just been walking through sludge all day. I couldn't
Yep.
get anything done this morning. I wanted to take a nap, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to finish my breakfast and then I'll take a nap. That took me an hour. I'm going to finish this episode and then I'll take a nap. Oh, I accidentally watched another episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish this game of Best Fiends. I'm going to take a nap. Oh, I forgot I have to run to Hy-Vee. I have to get up. I can't take a nap. So I've been
Yep.
like half asleep all day.
Yep. That was me. I lost a whole day yesterday. Diabetes is a bitch sometimes.
I know, I'm
was
sorry.
fucked. It's okay. I only threw up once. I just felt like shit. But
Yeah.
we're here today. We're feeling good. I'm feeling good enough to actually enjoy the pairing. So we're going to do this.
Okay.
This is a very special fan pick brought to us by Ansley Trapani.
Ansley Trapani.
And it is her birthday, I believe.
Birth month, I think.
It's her birthday around this time. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Ansley.
And she has chosen the topic. This is a great topic, by the way.
Yeah, with a specific case that you're going to shit yourself over.
Hate it. The topic today is legal loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough one. my case really pissed me the fuck off, and you're ready to piss me the fuck off with your case.
I think you'll be pissed, but more just like absolutely dumbstruck.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to strike you dumb.
Well, let me lubricate myself before I get struck. So Ansley also recommended for our pairing, wanting us to enjoy a California champagne, which she says is in itself a loophole, as true champagne can only hail from Champagne, France. And I love this for us. So I had a bottle of Barefoot California Champagne Brut Cuvée in my fridge.
Wow, that was lucky.
I am feeling so lucky. This is the Barefoot Brut Cuvée California Champagne. It sparkles with hints of crisp apple, complemented by a clean finish. Enjoy alone or with a sharp cheese and buttery popcorn. So the Brut Cuvée is the driest of their sparkling offers, and I think that they make it. Most of these are made with Chardonnay, but and it's not listed on here because it's not legally required to list the varietal, but I thought I saw somewhere that this one is Pinot Grigio. So I'm excited to try it out. And I am blending it in like kind of a fun mimosa, sort of a loophole for mimosas with this Gorgina elixir.
Dang.
That was gifted to me by our lovely friend Ryan Ross. Shout out to Ryan. So this is the Livener from Three Spirit. It's an NA like mixer or elixir. Ooh. They're made from botanicals that can give you like energy, or, you know, you can get all these different ones. So this one, the Three Spirit Livener, their keywords are energize, juicy, and fiery. It's a functional spirit alternative. It has no alcohol whatsoever. This says primed and ready to go. Energized from guayusa, guava leaf, and green tea, and fired up from the palate-stimulating schisandra berries, ginseng, and apple cider vinegar. It's so fucking good. I'll put it with like sparkling water. But you could make this little, I'm going to mix it with the Brut Cuvée, but you could do this with just sparkling water, or you could get non-alcoholic sparkling wine and make this same exact thing with the Livener with no booze if you wanted to.
I'm going to order some of this.
It's really, really,
this
really
looks
good.
So good.
The packaging is gorgeous. They sell it at a couple of stores in and around Minneapolis. I'm really psyched about the like uptick in NA options, creative NA options, mocktails. Yeah. It's just like, it's so awesome. There was somebody posted to our Wine and Crime Reddit recently, who's a bartender, and was saying like, are y'all interested in some NA cocktail recipes? And they were talking about how the restaurant they work at, like the NA cocktail list is as long as the regular cocktail list. And I so appreciate that, because I often order NA because it takes me 100 years to drink a cocktail.
Yep.
So, but I'm doing
also,
it.
When I was pregnant, I very, very much appreciated all the NA cocktails.
Yes.
And they were delicious.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, I want that NA cocktail, but can you put vodka in it? And they're like, yes, we can.
Yeah.
All right.
A loophole.
I'm going to pop this open. I'm going to try. Oh, okay. I loosened her. Here we go. Hope we don't die. Oh!
Whoa.
Oh, it spilled on my crotch. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold.
Keep it away from your electronics.
I did. It went directly into my lap. I didn't open it over anything that can short out. Okay.
Wow. That was a nice pop.
It really was. Hold on. Oh, this looks so pretty. Yes.
Oh, my.
It's perfect.
Gosh. Kim, it's perfect.
Oh, that's good.
I'm so jealous. I'm putting this in my basket right now.
Yeah, it's very like herbaceous, but it has a nice sweet balance. So it's not herbaceous like Fernet, where it's like bitter. It has that slight bitterness, but it is balanced with enough sweetness that it's really tasty. Like you could just do a shot of it, or I put it with Fever Tree sparkling water all the time. So fucking tasty.
For those Des Moinesians out there, they have it at Fresh Time Market on University and Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. at Jordan Creek.
But you can check them out at us.3spiritdrinks.com. So if you want to find where they have it or order it online, you can do that.
Look at their branding.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my God.
Well,
I'm
cheers.
soaked. So let's take a quick word from our sponsors so I can run and grab a towel. Because your girl's wet. I'm drinking on an episode for the first time in months.
You've been punished.
And I'm immediately soaked to the bone.
I might go make my White Russian while you grab a towel.
You make your White Russian. I'm going to start dabbing at my crotch with this here paper towel that I've got on my desk. All right, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Once the temps start rising, you realize you're back in the same worn out rotation. I'm pulling that nasty tank top.
It's like threadbare.
Some shorts with questionable crotch strengths. All these things you're clinging to from last season. So, join me. Give that daily uniform an upgrade with Quince. Their pieces are easy. They're elevated. They are timeless. They'll make you feel more put together without even trying.
Yeah, I had a Quince haul a couple weeks ago, and I loved this particular dress so much that I ordered 2 more in different colors.
Cute.
Yeah. And they just have anything that you could possibly be looking for, like 100% European linen shorts and dresses from $30. They've got luxe swimwear, Italian leather platform sandals. Their shoes are so cute.
So cute.
Jewelry, like they have everything. And the best part, everything with Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury without the markup. This European linen is nothing
It's
to
exquisite.
shake a stick at.
It washes so well.
It washes well. It travels well. Even if it's rumpled, it looks excellent. And the price points on the linen short, I got some high-rise linen shorts, high-waisted linen shorts. Oh my God.
I love traveling with linen because it's also really easy to steam. So you could hang it at the shower, at the hotel. You can hit it with a quick steam with the hotel iron. It takes
Yes.
2 seconds. It's really easy to maintain it.
Excellent for travel, and Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So if you're worried about the mass production of it all, they've got that covered. They're ethically a good company.
So treat your closet to a little summer glow up with Quince. Go to quince.com/wine for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/wine to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wine.
I'm cleaning up barf all the time. And if it's not human barf, it's cat barf. And those days are behind me, though, because I made a very small and easy switch to feeding them smalls. And my kitties' tummies seem to be so much less upset. I'm a dramatic reduction in the vomit.
Yeah, you're cleaning less puke.
It's great.
My cat Pepperoni is the mega puker in our household, and I'm telling you, you gotta try Smalls. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients that you would find in your fridge. It's delivered right to your door. Your cats are gonna be eating better than you are. It's what they deserve. And that's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. To get 35% off plus an additional 50% off your first order, head to Smalls.com and use our promo code GALS for a limited time only. I'm telling ya, Pepperoni, she is loving it. Beans is the one who follows me around everywhere, but Pepperoni, I have to work a little bit harder for her love and affection. So I have been luring her to me with the Smalls licks, the little the Go-Gurts.
The little Go-Gurts.
She's obsessed with the tuna one, and now she is seeking me out in our household, which feels new and exciting. Smalls was started back in 2017 by a couple of guys home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends, their cat friends.
God bless.
I know, right? A few short years later, they've served millions of meals to cats across the United States. I am obsessed. At this point, you might be wondering, why can't I just feed my cat kibble? Like, honestly, you can. They have dry food and wet food at Smalls. But believe it or not, your cute kitty descended from ferocious, like, wild cats who hunted live prey for food, which is shocking when you see Beans' face, but still, it's true. And in terms of like what works really well for your cat's gut, really hasn't changed that much. They still need fresh protein-packed meals to be at their best. And other cat food brands, they know this, but they kind of like choose to put the wallet first. There's a lot of mysterious meat byproduct that's cheap. There's artificial flavoring. There's preservatives, which can like really contribute to that tummy upset that a lot of kitties have. And you can't even pronounce the names on those things. Like, if it sounds kind of gross, imagine having to eat it every day. But after switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvements. And that's a big deal. The team at Smalls is so confident that your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they'll refund you if your cat won't eat their food. And honestly, like, do a taste test. You put the old food next to the new food, see what they pick. They're gonna pick Smalls.
For a limited time only, because you are a Wine and Crime listener, you can get 35% off Smalls plus an additional 50% off your first order by using our code GALS. That's an additional 50% off when you head to smalls.com and use promo code GALS. Again, that's promo code GALS for an additional 50% off your first order plus free shipping at smalls.com.
The weather's heating up, y'all, and you know I am a sweaty Betty of a sleeper. Like, in the winter, I will crack the windows when it's like 10 degrees outside. That's how hot I can get at night when I'm sleeping. And that nighttime sleep temperature has a massive impact on your sleep quality. So if you're waking up too hot or too cold, I cannot recommend enough that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating, so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long.
That magic silver infusion is what also makes these sheets self-cleaning. Hello. If you hate laundry as much as I do, this is a godsend. I actually got to put my Miracle Made sheets on my bed last night, and I was like doing a little happy dance.
You love it.
I do.
You love New Sheet Day.
Yes. So they're self-cleaning because they prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. Mm-hmm. So they stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than regular sheets. So it's not going to smell kind of funky after just like, a few days.
Yeah, you can do less laundry.
And like Amanda said, these temperature regulating properties help you get better quality sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So that NASA magic makes these sheets thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather. If it's too hot, they keep you cool. If it's very cold, they'll keep you warm.
Mm-hmm.
So you get better sleep every single night. They're also designed for your skin because you got to stop sleeping on bacteria. It clogs your pores. It's gross.
Mm-hmm.
It causes breakouts. Sleep clean with Miracle. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels.
They're so soft.
They feel fancy.
And on like a hot summer evening, slipping into those fresh, cool bed sheets, there's no better feeling.
Yeah.
So upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/gals to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code GALS at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/gals and use code GALS to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/gals to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. All right, we're back. I'm still a little damp, but Lucy has a White Russian, so we can
I got my White Russian.
Cheers now. Look at
Cheers.
the fun colors of our cocktails.
It has been too long since we got drunk on this podcast.
I mean, I'm not making any promises, but this is going down pretty easy. I've already topped it off while you were gone.
Perfect.
You're going to see the hue of my cocktail change. I'm hoping by the end of the episode it's just clear.
Clearer and clearer.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
All right, Lucy, what do you have in store for us for Legal Loopholes?
All right. Well, I did write these notes about a week and a half ago, so I don't really remember
love
exactly
it.
what
I love writing enough in advance, which I rarely do, to feel like I'm cold reading my own work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This brain doesn't retain a goddamn thing anymore.
Baby, no. It's too busy doing other shit, like...
Is it?
Thinking about the end of the world and Real Housewives.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. We're busy.
Yeah, that. But also, Real Housewives wife swap.
Don't even fucking get me started. I am so excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Josh texted us at like the crack of dawn when the news broke.
It was like 8:30, but yeah.
Like I said, the crack of dawn. Who's awake at 8:30? What are you, nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to sleep that late again.
Oh, your life makes me sad. Just kidding. I'm really happy for you. I know you're really happy.
I will say having a child has made me eat more fruit because she loves fucking fruit.
Yeah.
We always have fruit in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I eat a lot of fruit now.
Yeah, it's funny how much better you can eat when you like care about what you're putting into someone else's body, because we never care enough about our own.
I'll just shovel garbage into my body.
Literal
but she has
garbage.
like a rainbow plate,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. You're a good ma'am. You're such a good ma'am.
Thanks. She had chorizo bucatelli last night.
Hell yeah, she did. That sounds fucking awesome.
It was really good. It was very messy.
Oh.
She went straight in the bath.
I had a burger patty and some vegetables in bed. I literally only got out of bed like
good job.
Twice yesterday.
Yeah, you had a rough day.
It's fine.
All right,
I'm
let's
fine.
Let's get back to business.
Dive in.
Legal loopholes can be broadly understood as ambiguities or inadequacies in a legal system that allow the purpose of a law or rule to be totally avoided or circumvented.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as what they call a lacuna beach in legal terms. That refers to a gap in the law where there is no applicable law or a deficiency of the law's coverage of a specific situation. So basically there is no law, whereas a loophole, there is a law, but there's a way around it. It can be exploited due to a technical flaw.
When I was first researching this, was trying to find cases rooted in the legal loophole around the Oliphant decision, which essentially dictates...
It's pronounced elephant.
Sure. Which essentially dictates that non-native people committing crimes on tribal land can't be prosecuted by tribal police.
We talked about that in the Native American or Navajo crimes?
I think so. But it's so fucked up because this is like a really common thing and contributes pretty heavily to the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. But there are very few like well-reported cases of people coming onto tribal land to commit crimes and then escaping prosecution. So I was like, I'm so fascinated. Well, no, I mean, fascinated is probably a bad word. Troubled and pissed off, but also fascinated by the law around how that works. And I started going down this rabbit hole, but I was like, oh shit, I'm not even able to like talk about a specific case. So I pivoted into another direction, but just like wanted to mention it because it's fucking mind blowing. I know we've talked about it before, but it's so fucked up.
It's very alarming.
It's sick.
Yeah. And actually that was mentioned in some of my research as a fucking loophole. Also that one very small area in like the Rockies or somewhere where they don't have enough permanent residents to form a jury, so you could commit a felony and they could never bring a case.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, so this is from Wikipedia. Originally, the word loophole meant an arrow slit. So those are those narrow vertical windows in like castles.
Oh.
Where archers
could shoot out of at their enemies.
So loopholes were commonly used in U.S. forts built during the 1800s because they were located in the sally port, which is basically like the entryway, like the mudroom of a castle.
Cute. Okay.
So when you're entering the castle, you go through this sally port and then you enter through the main gates. These loopholes were considered a last-ditch defense where guards could close off the inner and outer doors, trapping enemy soldiers and using small arms to fire through the slits.
To fuck them up.
So why do legal loopholes exist? Essentially, they happen when the text of the law and the purpose of the law don't align. Sometimes laws are very poorly written, or they're not very specific, they're underspecified, or they're just not very well thought out.
I feel like a lot of laws are intentionally vague to be applied in different ways.
But there are strategies behind that, and there are ways to do that correctly. However sneaky it is, usually when there's a loophole, it definitely wasn't intentionally made
to be
available.
Exploited. It just is there to be exploited.
So loopholes might apply to a specific situation without considering other situations that could apply. They're generally avoidable, but many elected officials are bad at their jobs. And also, there are many loopholes strategically sought and used in the areas of elections and politics, tax codes, the criminal justice system, security breaches, and commercial regulation.
Great.
So I have kind of a list of more specific examples of loopholes, or at least ambiguous rules that one can use to one's advantage in a court setting. We as true crime enthusiasts will be familiar with
several of these.
Yes, many if not all. So we have the ambiguity of intent and state of mind in proving criminal charges. So you can plead insanity. You can plead, the crime of passion loophole. You can say you had intent to injure or intent to kill, or, all those things. Or if it was premeditated or not. All of that stuff is kind of flexible, if you will. Also, issues with the reliability of forensic evidence due to potential errors in collecting, handling, analysis, or interpretation. We talked a lot about that in the chain of
command and in luminol even.
Yes.
Like, we don't even know if the spatter on that lady's dress was blood, dressing gown.
Or horseradish.
Or fucking horseradish.
Insane. We also have the inherent unreliability of eyewitness testimony, the potential for manipulation or hacking of digital evidence. We're seeing this at the Karen Reed trial. Hello. Ineffective counsel. Also, whether or not you can afford effective counsel. That's not like a loophole, but that's definitely something to keep people under the thumb of the law.
Oh, yeah.
In many cases.
That's like systemic classism for sure.
The double jeopardy clause. What was her name in the movie? Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Amy?
No, the other one.
Amy something?
No. She has dark hair. I'm Googling it.
Hey, Siri.
Oh, that's better.
Who starred in the film Double Jeopardy?
Double Jeopardy features Tommy Lee Jones, Ashley Judd,
Ashley
Bruce
Judd.
Greenwood,
Judd.
and others.
Thank you. Amy something? No, Ashley Judd.
It's not Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's the other one. I don't know what. The other actress with dark hair of that time period. I feel like it was kind of just
Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd. Okay. Double jeopardy, it can be a very powerful tool when used correctly. It does not apply to mistrials. Again, Karen Reed.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
It only applies to a second trial if someone has been convicted or acquitted of the same crime, usually even if new evidence is found. So they can find new evidence, and then a judge can be like, sorry.
Been there, done that.
They've already been acquitted, or they've already been convicted.
It's done. It's over.
So in the case of Ashley Judd, she served her sentence for killing her husband.
Yep. But he wasn't dead. He had faked his own death and framed her. And then she found him and actually killed him.
In New Orleans.
Go off, girl.
Get him.
Do it.
Do it.
Have you been thinking about it? Do it.
I like a picture of like a beautiful field with flowers. It's like this and the day the news breaks.
Yes. I follow that Threads account. The account is called like, is he dead yet? And every day they just, everyone knows who it's about. And every day they just post like, sadly, not today. Nope, not today. But one day, that's how I'm going to find out, because I check it every day.
I'm not going to say anything more right now. I'm deeply unsure of the future of the freedom of the U.S. citizens.
Aren't we all?
So I'm just gonna. We all know who we're talking about.
Such a funny satire account. Ha 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 ha. But I pray for it every day.
This and the bullet didn't graze
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Double jeopardy. Jurisdictional issues. Okay. Exploiting procedural errors and violations of constitutional rights during arrest or trial, such as lack of probable cause, conducting an illegal search, or failure to read Miranda rights under specific circumstances. So I do want to say a word about Miranda rights because I think it's misunderstood commonly. Miranda warnings are only required when an individual is in custody and being interrogated. If a person is arrested without questioning, or if the individual freely offers information without being pressured by law enforcement, the absence of a Miranda warning will not affect the case.
Got it.
Basically, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Never
Shut up.
talk to cops. Period.
Don't volunteer information.
That includes your dad or your uncle or whoever. Do not talk to cops.
Well, I mean,
No.
you can talk to your dad.
You could say hi. Don't give him any important information.
No.
Can't trust those fuckers.
Don't give him your friends' last names.
Hell no.
He probably already knows. Okay, the internet is rife with examples of leapholes.
Loopholes. Dual
That's
loopholes.
short for legal loopholes. Lip holes? Ugh!
Dual loopholes.
Dual lip hole.
So fucking stupid.
Okay. I have most of these examples are from a Reddit thread that was asking lawyers like the craziest loopholes they've seen in action.
I love these. I love these kinds of Reddit threads. They're so fascinating.
Yeah, and some people say the craziest shit without like seemingly any like, you know, typed emotion.
No, they're like just another day at the office.
Like the way you read it, they just sound beyond unfazed.
Yeah. It's
But
so
it's
funny.
like the nuttiest thing you've ever heard.
It will literally shatter your entire world, but that's just like casual Tuesday for some of these fuckers.
It's like being an ER nurse or something.
Yes. Well, yeah, today I pulled, you know, XYZ out of somebody's colon. Just another Thursday. My uncle was an ER doc for many rotations and has some crazy stories. And his wife, who is my aunt by blood, was a nurse practitioner for many years. So they've both seen some like insane shit. I love to get a couple drinks in them and then just be like, tell me your grossest hospital story.
Yes.
Without names though, because like HIPAA or whatever, but like give me every other detail.
I saw a TikTok today. This person was like, I think he was some kind of nurse,
Yeah,
like
an ER nurse or an
some
OR
sort
nurse.
of surgical, something. And he was like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you the like meanest kind of things that he's heard other nurses say to patients." And one of them he was like a convict.
Oh no!
He had like gone there from like a prison
Oh.
for some kind of treatment, and he called the nurse like a stupid bitch or something. And she goes, "At least I get to go home tonight." And then someone else had to get like all their toes amputated or something. And the surgeon goes, "Well, all the little piggies did go to the market," or something like that.
Okay, when my dad had my dad had multiple toes amputated, but I think the first one he had amputated, one of his friends from work sent him a card that was by the guy who does like the Far Side drawings, like those weird cartoons.
Like kind of dark humor.
Yes, and it was like a foot with a toe missing and a tag on like the stub of the toe that just said "went to market." He kept that card for you. He fucking loved it. He thought it was so funny.
Of course he did.
He loved it.
Was he buried with it?
No, I don't know where it is now. My mom might still have it, but went to market.
I hope she does. That's funny.
So funny.
Little
It's just from like a
stupid card.
coworker. Like not even a family member. It's like that's how open and comical my dad was about all of his ailments.
Yeah.
Said like his buddy from work could send him like a roast joke card about having his toe amputated.
And he loved
And
it.
he fucking he kept it in like he had his like treasures in his sock drawer.
His treasures.
He had like a handful of treasures that was in this like section of his sock drawer, and I remember seeing that card in there. It was among his literal treasures, like most sacred keepsakes.
Like his wedding ring, baby pictures of his daughters.
Yes.
That fucking card.
Yes. He'd put like his wallet, his change. There were some like cute little trinkets from his childhood, some pictures, and a couple of cards. And that was one of them. I don't even think like any cards from me or Ashley or like any of our stuff were in there.
Well, they probably weren't that funny.
Probably weren't. That's fair.
Oh my God, your dad was so fucking funny.
He was the
But
best.
yeah, the Reddit threads that are like community input, which I mean, I guess is the point of Reddit, but sometimes you hit gold.
Oh, yeah. Blanche, don't cause a ruckus with your outside time. My rabbit's being a menace right now. I'm letting him roam, and he's just like basically building himself a fort out of a box in the corner of my office. Good for you.
Oh, I found a bird nest in a watering can at Home Depot yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
Weird. Out in the garden center?
Yeah.
What a find. I would have bought that watering can. Wait, was it
Corey
empty?
asked me, but the mom wasn't around, but it had eggs in it.
What?
The robin's eggs. They were blue. They were beautiful.
Tell the staff?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. And I walked up to the lady at the register, you know, the garden center register, its own little booth.
Yup.
And I was like, it's kind of 50-50. Either she's going to be like, okay, or
Stoked.
it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
She was fucking stoked.
Yes! You got a good one.
She went like this with her hands.
She home alone.
Oh my gosh. I was like, there's eggs in it. And she goes, oh my God. You have to put it back so the mom can find it.
Listen, you told the right one. She's going to be fucking all over that.
She asked me very specifically where it was. Where'd you put it? What color was it?
Yeah.
It's like, she will be checking on that nest.
Oh. I feel safe.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my excitement for yesterday. And we bought a fridge.
Oh, yeah. Congrats. Finally.
And it was a floor model. It has a fucking screen on it. Ugh. It's one of those smart fridges.
Yuck.
I know. I think they're foul, but it was the same price as like a normal small fridge.
Get it.
Anyway, so I'm going to have a weird fucking fridge next time you come over.
I'm going to play Mahjong on your fridge.
You probably can. Okay. So I'll get to the Reddit thread. These are some other examples first. So this first one is from a 2018 CNN article that I believe I covered in a GAC episode a long time ago, but I'm going to say it again because a loophole and millions of dollars.
Oh.
A group of Maine dairy delivery drivers will receive $5 million in a proposed settlement for unpaid overtime, according to court records filed on Thursday. A judge ruled in the driver's favor last March, which was all thanks to the lack of an Oxford comma in a Maine labor law.
You did talk about this.
Because I was like, justice for the Oxford comma.
Yeah, we're an Oxford comma family for sure.
Yes. It's usually not used in journalism, I think, because it is, in the end, cheaper to not have
it's for
unnecessary
printing.
punctuation.
Yeah.
So the Oxford comma, if you don't know, is the comma used after the second to last item in a list of 3 or more things. So like cats, comma, dogs, comma, and birds, period. The driver's employer had claimed that they were exempt from overtime pay according to this law. Part of the law exempts certain tasks from receiving overtime compensation. So this is what the law's guidelines originally stated about exempted tasks.
Okay.
So try to stick with me here. So this is what's exempt from overtime. The canning, comma, processing, comma, preserving, comma, freezing, comma, drying, comma, marketing, comma, storing, comma, packing for shipment or distribution of agricultural produce, meat and fish, and perishable foods.
Packing for shipment and distribution, so the drivers of, is what they're saying.
Well, these are exempt. Canning, drying, packing for shipment or distribution of.
So just the act of packing for those things, not the act of distribution.
That's where it comes in.
Got it.
So without the Oxford comma, the line packing for shipment or distribution could be referring to packing and shipping as a single act.
Yep.
Or as 2 separate tasks.
Yep.
And that fucking matters.
But puts the emphasis on the packing and not the driving, the delivering of the product.
They were arguing, well, I'll just read this. The drivers argued that it reads as a single act because there's no comma. packing for shipment or distribution.
Yep.
We weren't packing for shipment or distribution.
We were distributing. We were driving.
Yeah. So since they didn't actually do any packing, they shouldn't have been exempt from overtime pay.
Mm-hmm.
So the circuit judge wrote, quote, specifically, if that list of exemptions used a serial comma to mark off the last of the activities that it lists, then the exemption would clearly encompass an activity that the driver performs.
If they had put the comma before or distribution of, then it would have included them. But they fucking didn't.
But they didn't.
And they had a comma everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. According to the court documents, the dairy, while denying any wrongdoing, believed further litigation would be protracted and expensive. So
it's cheaper to just pay them their overtime.
They basically settled, to prevent any more Oxford comma drama, the Maine legislature has since edited this exemption, replacing the punctuation with semicolons. Just to be ultra clear, these are separate
each individual task that is exempt from overtime, which, like, how fucking evil. An overtime exemption should not exist legally, period.
I know, it's kind of fucked up.
It's sick.
Another example, the 2003 Toy Biz versus United States case determined that action figures were toys and not dolls because toys have a lower tariff.
And because dolls are gay. And so boys play with action figures and they're not dolls.
And maybe the children get 2 dolls instead of 30 dolls. Whatever the fuck he said. So the action figures were toys and not dolls because they represented, quote, non-human creatures. So this decision effectively cut the tariff rate for action figures in half, going from 12% to 6.8%.
Good for them.
It made action figures a little bit cheaper for a while. Maybe not for us, but at least for the people who make them. In Wisconsin, you can drink when you're under the age of 18 and with your parent, but you can't drink from 18 to 21 because you're technically not under your parents' guardianship and you're not 21.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a weird gap between 18 and 21 where you're not allowed to drink.
3 years, you're just fucked.
Yeah. Is beer that important that they have that law? I don't actually know why they have that law.
Girl, I don't know.
Wisconsin's weird, man. In Colorado, if you're in prison, you can technically murder someone if they're in your cell because it's technically your dwelling and it's technically kind of a stand your ground issue.
Interesting.
I don't think that would apply to like your cellmate because it's also their dwelling. But
maybe if someone gets into your cell and you're essentially protecting your domicile.
Yeah. Or if you just want to murder someone, lure them into your cell and then you can... whatever.
That's like vampiric, like reverse vampire. You invite them in. You don't have to wait to be invited in.
Yeah. And then you suck all their blood out.
And then you just suck their blood right through their dick.
Ick.
Well,
what if you sucked a dick so hard something popped? What if you sucked it clean off?
All right, well, that's a new Reddit question. We could post that to our no stupid questions. Could you technically suck a dick clean off?
Would you probably deglove it first?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Could you deglove a dick?
Probably.
D-dick?
If you can suck that hard, I really hope you're getting money for that skill somehow.
I hope you're being studied.
Consensually.
Sorry, that just came out. Yeah, well.
We hope you consent to being studied if you can suck that hard, because we want to know. How? How'd you do this?
You suck so much that I hope you're being studied.
There are some people I feel that way about.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I liked this one. Although public nudity... Oh, speaking of public nudity, I saw the Minnesota boob thing.
Yeah, okay. That's like...
exciting.
Yeah, but that's like... That's old news. It just got basically put into our Constitution, but that's been at least a Minneapolis law for, I think, since 2020, and then I think it got adopted into like the full Minnesota law.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like I remember hearing about it back when, but I just recently saw it again yesterday. But boobs are not inherently sexual.
Well, they're not.
So you can have your tits out wherever you want.
Yeah. My neighbor and I texted that to my neighbor the other day, and I was like, she was like, let's garden topless. I was like, done, I'm in. So we might have a little topless gardening party.
That'd be fun.
It's so
There's a lot
fun.
of stooping. You'd have a lot of swaying.
Yeah, they'd be swanging,
Swanging.
but
Swanging in the breeze.
as long as the gardening isn't too intense, I'm cool with it. You know I love being nude and or topless.
What if your neighbor just busts out some shovels?
Yeah, we're
She's
digging a
just wearing-
trench.
Shoveling topless would sound so uncomfortable.
Oh, no. Any kind of like intense labor, I want to strap these puppies down.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of boobs and gardening, I have a related story, as weird as that sounds. So I have these really big Fiskars brand, they're shears.
trimmers, yeah.
But the handle's really long, so you get the most, like, torque when you
Sure.
squeeze them. So I was I was doing it like this in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get a little volunteer tree. So it was thick, so I was really cranking it.
Yeah, got a crank
And
hog.
I finally pinched the tree off so the handles came all the way. I pinched my tits together like
Ow,
this.
I've done that.
It hurt.
It's awful.
And it scared me.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
Anyway, speaking of tits and gardening.
Speaking of tits and gardening.
Okay, although public nudity in North Carolina is illegal, it's not illegal to stand on your private property while nude. So if you're standing in your doorway naked, no one can arrest you because you're entitled to do what you want.
My
in your
fucking house.
I don't know why that would be specific to North Carolina, but whatever. In Kansas, the law gets even more convoluted. You could walk down a public street naked, provided that you aren't doing anything sexual.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're
you
just
obviously
walking,
couldn't have a boner.
listen to your iPod, flaccid, naked.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Okay, here's the Reddit stuff. The first post says, for a period of time in my state, if you got a speeding ticket, you could have a hearing and request the radar technician to testify that the equipment had been calibrated correctly. Given that there were only 2 technicians qualified in the state, they basically never showed up, so your ticket would get thrown out.
Yeah, actually, even without that radar technician request, you should just contest tickets left and right, because if the ticketing officer doesn't show up for court, in a lot of states, I know in Minnesota, your whole case could be thrown out. And they often don't show up because they don't fucking care. They don't
care.
give a shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you have the time,
I was just going to say, it's kind of a privilege to even have the time to
it
contest a ticket.
absolutely is. It absolutely is. But if you are able to do it, then fucking do it. Because honestly, the majority of the time, the cop is not showing up. And especially if you do it like in a different state, they're not going to fucking show up.
Oh, I don't think I would pay a ticket if I got it in a different state.
Well, it depends. If you get a ticket, you would want to pay if you got it in Wisconsin or Minneapolis, because there's like reciprocity with Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. I went to get my license renewed years ago, and my Minnesota license wouldn't renew for me because I had an outstanding ticket in Wisconsin, and I had to clear that
parking ticket?
No, a driving ticket, but I don't know if it would apply to a parking ticket. But
I guess I was referring to parking tickets.
yeah, no, fuck parking tickets.
Yeah.
Although I did get towed for scofflaw for not paying parking tickets in my early 20s. But, fuck parking tickets. I stand on that. I stand on that.
Scofflaw.
Yes, I scoffed at the law. They took
And
my
the law
car,
won.
And the law won. And I paid a lot of money. But for a while, I was just wilding.
I scoffed the law
And
and
the
the
law
law
won.
won. Okay, a local cop got charged for... I love this. A local cop got charged for catching the wrong size fish. So the fish was like too big. So basically it was poaching. But he lied to the game officer in his statement. And they
measured.
got mad and found out. So that meant that all prior convictions that relied on his testimony became easy appeal cases.
You know what?
He lied
I
to
love
another
that.
law enforcement officer, the game warden.
Yep.
So he was like, what else have you lied about?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. And I am glad that they took it that far.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because we should be holding police officers, enforcers of the law, to a higher standard of ethics and honesty in all things.
Yep. Yep.
And yet people who are cops tend to be some of the worst people in the fucking world.
Yeah, well, that's why they become cops. Okay. This person said, still in law school, but I'm amazed at how few loopholes there are. I'm always on the lookout, but there's usually some catch-all, some provision, some exception, some countervailing doctrine that prevents it. The closest thing I found to a clear loophole is that some items are exempted from the list. Another exemption list. Some items are exempted from the list of what can be seized to satisfy a judgment against you, but they don't specify a maximum value.
Oh.
So, for example, under New York's CPLR 5205, even though exempt books can't exceed $500 in value, religious texts have no such limit. So theoretically, you can invest all of your money in expensive, rare Bibles, and they could not take them from you.
So you can hold on to that asset. Yeah, that's good to know.
Also in New York, a charge for carrying a firearm was dropped because the person who was carrying it had removed the firing pin, making the weapon inoperable at the time of the charge.
It's like you just had this useless thing. You couldn't have even used it. Yeah.
It might have been loaded and it might have been a weapon, but the firing pin was in it. So
interesting.
Chill out.
I wonder why they removed it, or if they even knew that it was fucked up.
I read the whole article here. I think that it was an attorney and she was entering a federal building. I think that's what it was. Something like that.
Weird.
Here's another gun one. Heard of at least one case where the defendant was charged with carrying a loaded firearm without a license. But the count had to be dismissed because it turns out the dumbass had loaded it with the wrong caliber bullet.
So it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked anyway. So the police lab tried repeatedly to get the gun to fire in the range using the defendant's bullets, but even they couldn't make it work. So technically, the firearm did not count as loaded under the statute.
It's like, we know your intention was to cause harm, but like you were too stupid to be able to harm anyone, so we can't charge you.
We were so dumb.
Too stupid to charge. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So it says the case wasn't quite dismissed because there was a lesser charge that still applied to an unloaded firearm, but it was a much less severe charge.
Yeah.
So obviously there are treacherous waters a person has to navigate through to really have the law, like really and truly have the law on their side. Of course, if you find yourself in a sticky situation, don't rely on your own understanding of the law to plead your case.
No.
Never fucking represent yourself at any stage of the game.
Oh my God.
Don't talk to cops without a lawyer. Don't do fucking anything without a lawyer.
Have you been watching The Valley season 2?
Yes, but I don't think I'm caught up yet.
Well, every time Jesse, who is getting divorced from Michelle,
he's such a piece.
I mean, all of them are a mess. But every time he talks about how lucky he is that he's representing himself so that he doesn't get the legal charges every time lawyers on Michelle's side, like, email him. And then Michelle's getting pissed. She's like, some of these things you can just text me about, but he's insisting that it all go through the lawyer because he knows I'm going to get charged. And he's representing himself, so he doesn't have to bill himself for the hours of responding to those emails. Like, I fucking hate him.
Masterful.
It is, but I hope it bites him in the ass because he does. I mean, they both suck. They're both fucking assholes.
Yeah. But, not perfect.
But I'm entertained.
It's just good TV. Okay, so consult a lawyer or public defender who will undoubtedly know more about the legal landscape and hopefully find laws and precedents to get you out of trouble or keep you out of trouble. There are very real consequences to believing in certain legal loopholes that don't actually exist. For example, the belief that you have the right to resist an unlawful arrest. While this may have been true historically, most modern courts prohibit resisting arrest regardless of its lawfulness.
That's so fucked up.
As it can create a dangerous situation and lead to additional criminal charges.
Yeah, I know it can create a dangerous situation, but like the outcome of being wrongfully arrested and, I don't know, in some cases sent to El Salvador.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Where do you want to fight for your life? Here against the fucking ICE agent or cop trying to kidnap you illegally, or in El Salvador in prison?
The real problem, the real illegality, the glaring it's not illegal. It's illegal. They're not dressed like cops. They have no ID.
Oh, it's
They're
so
dressed
sick.
all in black with masks.
Unmarked vehicles. They're kidnappers. They are fucking kidnappers.
Those are kidnappers.
Yeah.
There's no indication that they're any kind of law enforcement. So, of course, these people should have the right to fucking shoot them on sight.
Yeah, and actually, there have been cases, one, where plainclothes officers have descended on a home or the wrong home. I'm not necessarily talking about Breonna Taylor's case, but other cases where people, in defense of their personhood and their property, thinking that somebody was breaking and entering into their home, protected themselves.
What's the difference?
We don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fucked.
Yeah.
It's so fucked.
Also, there's no such thing as going with the flow of traffic in defense of
speeding.
A lot of people think that
Everybody else
just
was
going
speeding.
with the flow of traffic, you can still get a speeding ticket.
You sure can. It's about who they can catch, not like who you're following. If you're an easy target, they're going to get you.
Also, citizens' arrest laws vary by jurisdiction, so be very confident of the laws in your area before you go arresting someone.
How about don't go arresting anyone? How about mind your
think it's
fucking
so
business?
stupid.
Yeah.
I can't think of a situation where that would be inappropriate. A citizen's arrest?
It doesn't feel like a good risk to take.
No. All right, I have a case for us today. We have not covered it on this show, but it has been covered by many other podcasts, so you may have heard of this story. I had heard of it in just like a little snippet, clickbaity kind of way.
Okay.
But it's really brutal. Okay. Blanket trigger warning.
Great.
So we're in Paris. It's 1981. What a time and place to be alive. 25-year-old Renee Hardevant was studying literature at the Sorbonne Academy in Paris. Renee was Dutch.
Okay.
There were many international students at the school, and one of her classmates was 32-year-old Issei Sagawa. He was Japanese. Sagawa had moved to France to pursue a PhD in literature at the Sorbonne in 1977. The two students met in May of 1981, I think in one of their literature classes. On June 1st, 1981, Sagawa invited Renee to his apartment where he served her a meal of sukiyaki, which of course I had to Google. It's a Japanese, it's kind of like a comfort food. It's got slow cooked beef and tofu and vegetables in like a rich, savory hot pot.
Yum.
It sounds so
That
good.
sounds so fucking good. I have a feeling this guy's going to end up like being evil just because of the way that these stories usually pan out, but that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Must have been a good cook, I guess. But yeah, he's evil. So they had dinner together and they went their separate ways. 10 days later, Sagawa again invited Renee to his apartment under the pretext of having her help him translate some poetry for a class assignment.
Okay.
Another source said that he wanted her to record some German poetry, and yet another source suggested that at one point he propositioned her for sex and she rebuffed him. All of these things could be true,
Sure.
but I don't really know the exact context of her visit on this day.
Okay.
Sagawa has said since that while residing in Paris, quote, almost every night I would bring a prostitute home and then try to shoot them, but for some reason my fingers froze up and I couldn't pull the trigger.
Almost every night?
That's what he said later about this time in his life.
Bro, go to therapy.
Men will do anything but go to therapy.
Yeah, seriously.
Including what happens next. Renee did go to his apartment on that night, June 11th. Renee was sitting at a desk in his apartment with her back turned to him when he approached her with a small caliber rifle and shot her in the back of the neck, which killed her immediately.
Oh my God.
Sagawa later said that he fainted after the shock of shooting her, but awoke with the realization that he had to carry out his plan. There's no going back now.
Yeah, I gotta cover this up and get away with it.
He has to carry out his plan. So he had sex with her body.
No.
And got frustrated that his teeth weren't sharp enough to break her skin. So he left his apartment and went and bought a butcher knife.
Bro has soft ass teeth.
Bro has soft teeth and no knife in your apartment?
How dare you say that to me? You know I have soft teeth.
You just made sukiyaki.
Yeah, how are you ripping through that? Well, it's slow cooked meat.
How are you cutting the meat to put it in? You got vegetables, you got meat, you got tofu.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have a knife?
Didn't make that with a knife?
Yeah, what the fuck? All this to say, dude sounds like a bitch. A real bitch.
Oh, he's a bitch.
Fuck this guy.
Okay, so he fainted. He left to go get a knife. Over the next several days following the murder, Sagawa mutilated, cannibalized, and performed necrophilia on Renee's corpse.
So he had her in his apartment for days.
I think 3 days.
Oh, God.
He consumed parts of her body, including most of her breasts, face, buttocks, feet, thighs, and neck.
No.
Some parts raw and some that he cooked with seasoning in a frying pan. One source said, oh my God. I forgot I put this in here. Okay, here we go. Just gonna do it. Here we go. One source said he swallowed her clitoris whole because she was on her period and he didn't like the taste of it, so he didn't want to chew it, so he just swallowed it. Mm-hmm.
What?
Sometimes I find details that I shouldn't put in my notes.
Oh, it's our job.
It's our job. That's what happened, I guess.
Holy shit, that is
But like,
dark.
You can't make this shit up. I mean, it's very, very graphic and very detailed, and it's
Very
detailed
Yeah.
for a very specific reason, which we'll fucking get to.
Mm-hmm.
He also saved other parts in his refrigerator and took photographs of her body at each stage of consumption.
Ew, so he was
He was documenting.
making his scrapbook,
Mm-hmm.
getting his memories in order.
Yep. Mm-hmm. As it turns out, Sagawa had planned to kill and eat Renee, having selected her for her health and beauty, characteristics he felt he lacked. So remember, she's Dutch. She's a beautiful specimen of a woman.
It's almost like he had this thought in his head that the act of consumption would imbibe him with some of the traits that he felt like he didn't have.
That is exactly what it was. He wanted to like absorb her energy.
Oh my God, that just gave me a fucking chill. Oh, yuck.
So here's a little bit more about him physically. He had been born with some serious health issues. He was a preemie. He was very early. So he was really small. And he also had a problem with his small intestine. There was something about his fingers, like his hands were a little bit deformed also. As an adult, he considered himself weak, ugly, and small. He was a short king. He was 4'9". Doesn't excuse his behavior.
No. And I mean, we can balk at the societal structure that allowed for this man to suffer under his own insecurity without absolving him of what he fucking did to, quote unquote, heal those insecurities.
He's just fucking nuts.
Some people are already sick and unwell, coupled with a world that does not care for humanity. It's a bad fucking combination.
This is a very bad combination. So while he was studying in Tokyo years before this, like 8 years prior, so he's 24 and in Tokyo at a university, he saw a tall German woman and followed her home. And then later that night, he broke into her apartment while she was sleeping. His plan was to cut off pieces of her buttocks and like sneak off with them to eat them. But she woke up and thwarted the attack. And I like to think that she beat his fucking ass.
I mean, however she did it, thank God she got away. Knowing what, and this is after what he had already done or before?
This was before. This was like 8 years
Part
before.
of the escalation history.
Yes.
Okay.
He was accused of rape. I didn't find anything that said that he actually sexually assaulted her or attempted. I mean, whatever the fuck he was doing.
He attempted to cut her butt off. I think anybody could call that sexual assault or just any kind of fucking assault you want to call that. If somebody's coming from my ass, I'm giving you all the charges. All the charges.
I know.
This thing is sacred.
He tried to cut her butt off.
He tried to cut off her butt.
Stop! It's not funny.
What? No, what the fuck?
No.
I can't process any of this. What are you talking about?
We haven't even gotten to the worst
What?
parts yet. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's all bad. Okay. So he was accused of rape, and his family was really fucking rich. So his rich dad just paid off the victim. So this never came out.
Fuck you. Okay, your family's all rich. How about, let me float an idea here for you, sir. Plastic surgery. You could change how you look anytime with access to wealth. You don't have to eat a woman.
Yeah. Okay. Renee, the victim in Paris, was 5'10". He said he wanted to, like I said, absorb her energy. And he said in a later interview, quote, I wanted to know the taste of human flesh, the young, beautiful girl's flesh. Just one bite of the hips. When you fall in love, you really want to kiss her. It's just the same. I just wanted to taste her. I'm a cannibal. It's an obsession. End quote.
Got it.
Okay. 2 days later, when her body began decomposing. Okay, so she was only in his apartment for 2 days only. When her body began decomposing, he put her remains in 2 separate suitcases and then tried to dump them in the lake at the Bois du Boulogne Park. When he flagged down a taxi to take to the park, the driver was helping him put the suitcases in the trunk, and the driver joked, "What do you have in here, a dead body?"
What?
Yeah. And apparently Sagawa just burst out laughing because he's crazy?
Deranged. This is beyond. Yeah. This is one of I really truly believe in people's humanity, even people who are severely unwell. But every once in a while,
this is pushing a limit.
Every once in a while, you come across somebody that it's like, I don't think there's any hope for any kind of rehabilitation.
No,
like every once in a while, some people, even some people who become president, I don't think there are avenues of redemption for some of the fucking evil that people cause. And this is one of those moments where I'm like, okay, yeah, you should never be in society, ever. Bye.
That's really, really funny you put it that way. Here we go. So he goes to the park. He dumps the suitcases near the water and then gets spooked and runs away. And these 2 joggers totally see what happened. They go look in the suitcases. They find Renee. They call the cops. That's how he gets caught. So he was caught by French police and arrested and was held in prison in Paris for 2 years before his trial. In the meantime, his wealthy father retained an expensive French attorney for Sagawa who absolutely pulled some strings. So it's worth noting that the Sagawa family was not only rich, but also had some major connections with the Japanese government. They ran I can't remember what kind of company it was, but they manufactured something.
They had government contracts, so they knew people in the...
I don't know specifically. They just had a lot
They knew people. They had money and they fucking knew people.
Yep. Finally, Sagawa saw his day in court where Judge Jean-Louis Brugière found him insane and unfit to stand trial and ordered that he be held indefinitely in a mental institution in France.
Yep.
During that time, Japanese author Inuhiko Yomota paid Sagawa a visit to interview him, just for I think it was in a magazine.
Well, yeah, this was probably a very famous case.
It was about to be, but I don't think the general public really knew about it before this article was published in Japan under the title In the Fog. So he became very popular and basically a celebrity.
What? He was revered for this?
He was so well known. I think, at least in Japan, definitely in Japan, I think probably all over the world people caught on because his crime was so fucking outrageous.
It's horrifying.
And he was totally open with the journalist. He told them everything, all these details. So, yeah, it's really sensational. So he became very, very popular.
And I mean, I suppose if he was never facing trial. He was just going to be put in a secure mental health facility. Then
There's no reason why anyone would have
why
really
why not spill it all? You're not going to trial. Your fate is sealed from where you sit. But I have a feeling because of legal loopholes, he's going to weasel out of this somehow.
Okay, so he's very famous. Perhaps because of this attention, also perhaps combined with intense pressure from the Japanese government, because again, his family has a connection. French authorities decided that they just didn't really want to deal with him anymore. And after only 4 years, some sources say more, some say less, but it was just a handful of years in a French facility, he was deported back to Japan, where he was immediately committed to Matsuzawa Hospital in Tokyo.
Okay, so he was transferred back to his home country to be under their dime and their supervision.
You deal with it. He's your fucking guy. We don't want him here anymore. This is really fucked up. He killed a student at one of our universities.
Yep.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And this is where it gets really fucked up.
Because, yeah, he's rich and famous in Japan, and now he's back where his family is super connected directly to the government that is probably, like, overseeing the terms of his imprisonment.
Here's how everything went down. Japanese psychologists examined Sagawa and unanimously found him sane. Additionally, they found sexual perversion to be the sole motivation for the murder. They were like, oh, he was just horny.
Which, like, okay, but
it wasn't about being homicidal. It wasn't about wanting to eat someone.
If your horniness leads to the death, defiling, and consumption of a human person, then your horniness is deadly and you should be kept safe from society.
That wasn't what they found. Because the charges... Okay, so you
find him sane.
This is going to clear this up. I forgot about this detail. Because the charges against him in France had been dropped after he was deported, those French court documents were sealed and were not released to Japanese authorities. So they didn't even know what his crime was. So when he got back and talked to the psychologist, he very well might have just said, like, I brought this girl home. We were having sex. Things got out of control. This is what happened. They might not have known about the cannibalism, about keeping her in the apartment, about shooting her in the back of the neck.
But I feel like they must have, because he'd given that interview to the Japanese journalist that made him famous with all the details of all the crimes he committed.
I don't think it mattered because they didn't have the documents.
Oh my God. So that's just a story
those psychologists were like, he's sane, he's suffered enough.
Yikes.
So because of that, and because of how Japanese law works, he couldn't be legally detained in Japan. So on August 12th, 1986, he checked himself out of the psych ward and just...
went on his way.
Walked off.
Oh my God. What did he do?
He couldn't be put on trial again in Japan for the crime committed in France because Japanese justice generally does not rejudge cases already judged abroad.
Yeah.
Just for diplomatic reasons.
I think that's pretty common.
Respecting the verdicts of foreign courts.
I mean, if an American expat commits a crime in another country and serves time in another country, and then those charges are dropped and they're deported back to their home country, the U.S. justice system, unless they like really fucking want something from you, unless it's like a financial crime that they could fucking profit from, is probably not going to come after you. And in the eyes of the law, you did your time. Your charges have been dropped in that country.
Well, the crime was committed in another country.
Exactly.
You literally don't have the jurisdiction to do this.
Yeah. So why?
So
I'm mad at France for letting him go back. And I'm mad at Japan for not keeping
I'm mad at France and
the
Japan.
public safe. Yeah.
So between 1986 and 1997, Sagawa was frequently invited to be a guest speaker and commentator on like TV shows and shit. He wrote some books, and this is the cherry on top. He was also a fucking food critic.
What?
He was a restaurant critic. Can you
Fucking ew!
deal?
Ew, dude! No! No!
After the whole country knew what he did, according to that article.
Oh my God!
I think it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing.
No, don't say tongue-in-cheek! He's eating those things!
No!
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Fucking ew!
Yeah.
Oh, I feel sick.
Uh-huh. So, eventually it became difficult for him to find publishers because distasteful much?
Yeah.
Not to use that word necessarily, but
Dude.
Sagawa was nearly accepted by a French language school because its manager was impressed by his courage in using his real name.
No!
He's like, wow, you're brave for actually applying to this job when everyone knows who the fuck you are. But then all the employees at this school protested, so they didn't hire him.
I am not working with that creepy clit eater. Absolutely the fuck not.
The butt eater, butt thief.
Ugh.
So
Ugh.
his parents eventually died. He ended up on welfare. In an interview with Vice magazine in 2011, Sagawa said that being forced to make a living while being known as a murderer and a cannibal was a terrible punishment.
Oh, I'm sure it was awful.
Yeah.
You were like
this-
a talking head and food critic for years. And I have a feeling him ending up on welfare is more reflective of how he managed his money and his fame. He probably could have been fine if you had just fucking fucked off, chilled out, faded into the background, inherited your family's wealth or whatever your little fucking inheritance or whatever was, and had just gone away.
But he's just so insecure about everything. This was the best thing ever. He's not in prison. He's back in Japan. He's famous.
Yeah, but he's poor, so
which
that's
is
his punishment.
Perplexing, but yeah.
I mean, it's not that perplexing that he's famous, because think about, like, that's very common in the West. It's people committing these heinous crimes. I mean, the whole, like, other countries that obviously much more rarely than in the United States, where we have mass shootings like every fucking day. But other countries where people commit heinous crimes like this won't even publish the name of the perpetrator because they do not want to give them the attention. And I think that's fucking brilliant. Obviously, I know
a lot of outlets are starting to do that here, but also it's not like you can't find out because most outlets are publishing that shit.
No, but it doesn't surprise me that he got famous for his crimes. I mean, we see that happen with vile criminal people all the fucking time. We have a true crime podcast.
I know, but this is just so straightforward.
Yeah, no, it's really
so
fucked up.
brutal. And he's out walking free. I don't know. It's fucking nuts.
It's really nuts.
Anyway, this fucker died in November 2021 of pneumonia. His body was not mutilated, raped, or eaten. So you considering yourself having a terrible punishment, you can fuck off. So anyway, that is the really tragic story of Renee Hardvelt and that fucker whose name I don't even want to say again.
That was nuts.
That was a fan pick. Thanks.
Thanks.
Of course it was a fan pick.
Thank you so much, Ansley.
Also, I have some photos which will be on the blog. One of them should not be posted. So, Andrea, it's labeled graphic. Don't post that one. But Amanda, if you want to look at it. You can have nightmares tonight.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, you can't post this.
Nope.
Let's just say it is the forensic team unpacking the suitcase. And I am looking at this poor woman's head on a table.
Yeah, it's not wonderful.
Oh, this is so awful. Okay, I need to close this. I can't look at this. And I have a very strong freak out meter. This is a lot.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I probably should have warned you.
You did. I just rushed to the drive. I could have waited.
Okay.
Oh my God. Fuck this guy. Ooh, he's so creepy.
He's so gross.
Yuck.
Look at his, his
comb over.
I just hate him. He looks like a small Pee Wee Herman.
Don't you dare do that
way.
to Paul Rubens. Don't you dare.
No.
Don't you
His
dare.
teeth do look soft. Freak.
I'll give him that. All right. Well, let's take a break to hear a word from our sponsors.
Sorry.
I hate everything about this.
Okay.
Yeah, a little more alcohol.
Drink up, baby. Take your medicine. So sometimes you run into someone and they're like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, I'm good, how are you? Just automatically.
Yeah, without even thinking.
And then sometimes you're like, well, I'm barely hanging on.
Mm-hmm. I'm
like,
real
I'm definitely
stressed.
better. Things are not great. And
Breathe
that is,
with me.
and that's not a great way to start a casual conversation with someone you might barely know. So if you're feeling like you need to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more mindful, a little bit more chillaxed,
Yeah.
then you might want to consider using what we use, and that is Headspace.
Headspace is the app that helps us and 100 million people with their mental health and well-being with guided meditations, mindfulness practices, breathing and calming exercises, and so much more. Honestly, I am a chronic anxiety girly, and this is really helpful to reduce stress. It helps boost your mood, and it helps you sleep better. Headspace combines scientifically proven benefits of meditation and mindfulness with modern practices, and you learn from experienced meditation teachers. So if you've always been curious about meditation and mindfulness practices, but you don't know where to start, this is the app for you. The app has customized, personalized approaches to help you navigate through all of life's moments, big and small. And like I said, if you're a total newbie or maybe you've been meditating for years, there's always content for what you're going through. Whenever I use it, it honestly feels so customized and it's just exactly what I need in that moment. And if you're short on time, like many of us are, Headspace has these quick on-the-go programs. These are my favorite.
I love those.
They're so easy to use, and they can help you get into the right headspace in just a few minutes. So maybe you're about to do a big presentation, maybe you're about to go on stage live in front of a bunch of people. Hey, on the go program. Plus, with over 1,000 hours of mindfulness exercises, it's got the most complete meditation library that I've seen, so I could always find something that works for me.
Feel good and mean it when you say it. For a limited time, get Headspace free for 60 days. Go to headspace.com/winecrime. That's HEADSPACE.com/winecrime to unlock all of Headspace for free for 60 days. Headspace.com/winecrime.
This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Wild Grain, my girl, my bestie, my savior.
Yeah.
Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas. Wild Grain's boxes are fully customizable to your taste and dietary restrictions. So in addition to their classic variety box, they recently launched a new gluten-free box and a plant-based box that's 100% vegan. Best of all, they take the hassle out of baking since all items bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less with no mess or cleanup.
I know I've said this before about Wild Grain, but their chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my God, they're so good.
If you're craving a chocolate chip cookie, you can just pull a chocolate chip cookie out of the freezer and put it directly into the oven. And, 16 to 18 minutes later, you have a perfectly hot, fresh baked
cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie.
I know.
It's genius.
It's magic.
It's magic. So are you ready to bring all your favorite carbs right to your doorstep? Be sure to check out Wild Grain so you can begin building your own box of artisanal breads, pastas, and pastries and cookies. For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off the first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/gals to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/gals. That's wildgrain.com/gals, or you can use promo code GALS at checkout. Maybe you found a loan that was really irresistible when you were in college. Maybe you get nervous before you go look at cars, or if you are looking for a new apartment and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no credit history. How are these people going to know that I'll pay my bills and my rent?
On time, yeah.
If you if your credit like isn't perfect, it can totally seem like the system is built to make you fail. And even if you're responsible with money, bad credit can keep you from moving forward, getting a house, getting a car, renting an apartment, all of those like goals. And that's where Kickoff comes in. Kickoff gives you the smartest tools to build real credit real fast. You sign up without a credit check, and Kickoff's monthly plans start targeting key credit factors in the background. So that means you're going to see real results before you know it.
I really wish that I had known about Kickoff when I was like getting my first apartment by myself, getting my first car by myself, even like getting my house. It's just such a useful tool to help build that positive credit history and look real nice to those lenders who kind of have a lot of power over where you go in the next part of your life.
Yep.
Kickoff is a credit line that's just for credit building. So users with credit under 600 grew an average of 84 points in their first year with transparent, affordable plans starting at just $5 a month, no hidden fees, and zero interest. Kickoff helps you score big when it comes to credit. It's simple. You make on-time payments and credit bureaus see good behavior, and you can see your credit grow very fast. Start building credit immediately for only $1 your first month. Auto pay is really helpful. It helps you build credit while you sleep, and you never worry about missing a payment. You can set it up in minutes from your phone. Again, no credit check. You can cancel it anytime. And with over 1 million users and hundreds of thousands of positive reviews, there's a reason why Kickoff is the #1 credit builder on the App Store.
Start building credit with Kickoff today, and you can get your first month for as little as $1. That's 80% off the normal price when you go to getkickoff.com/gals today. That's kickoff without the C. getkickoff.com/gals. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/gals to activate offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Average first year credit score impact of plus 84 points. Vantage score 3.0 between January 2023 and January 2024 for Kickoff credit account users who started with a score below 600, who paid on time, and who had no delinquencies or collections added to their credit profile during the period. Late payments may negatively impact your credit score. Individual results may vary.
All right, we're back. We're not okay, but we're going to dive into my case today. And warning, ladies, this shit is about to piss you off.
Again? Why is it such a ragey episode?
Well, it's Legal Loopholes. Of course it's going to be a ragey episode.
It's true. And it's a fan pick.
Yeah. Well, mine's not a fan pick, but the topic is the fan pick topic. You did the fan pick case, so that's her fault. This one's my fault. Today, we're looking at a case out of Peabody, Massachusetts, involving a man with a long history of sex crimes.
Oh, good.
A tragic death, a controversial release, and a loophole in the state's sex offender registry law. There are multiple loopholes in this case, and it is just egregious act after egregious act.
Okay.
So the offender in question is a man named Mark Papa McHale, a man...
Papa McHale.
A man who...
I do kind of like how that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, but he's fucking terrible. So
I know. That'll be the only good thing about him.
This is a man who has been convicted of rape at least 3 times. Convicted at least 3 times.
Oh, my God.
Each time he was released from jail, and then the final time that he was released from jail, which we're about to get to, this sparked fear among victims and raised serious questions about public safety and the laws allegedly designed to protect us. So Mark Papa McHale, who is by now in his late 50s, early 60s, he has a criminal record dating back to at least 1981.
So now, like now?
Now. He's out. He's in his 60s. He's doing his thing.
Oh, God.
He's been a convicted sex offender for more than 30 years. In 1986 and 1994, he was convicted of indecent assault and battery on a minor. In 1991 and 1997, he was convicted on rape charges. He has been convicted of rape twice, according to several sources, but as we know, conviction does not reflect the number of assaults.
Not by a long shot.
Sure doesn't. So beyond these convictions, Papa McHale has faced other accusations. In 2014, a woman named Janine Dunphy says Papa McHale raped her after they met through an online dating site.
Jesus.
Dunphy alleges the incident occurred at his home after they met on Plenty of Fish. She described a violent encounter where he allegedly threw her across the room before raping her.
Oh my God.
So she pressed charges and went to trial, and a jury found him not guilty in 2016.
Shh. A woman's not going to go to take someone to court for rape and lie.
No.
Oh my God.
Dunphy attributes the verdict in part to her difficulty remembering all of the details at trial because the incident happened 2.5 years before trial, and she suffered heavily from PTSD. So some of the details for her were cloudy, and so the jury felt like they couldn't convict based off of her testimony.
Recounting it in a courtroom would be so traumatic.
It'd be really hard. It'd be really hard. In, I guess, the only act of service that the judge really could provide after his acquittal, the judge issued Janine Dunphy a lifetime restraining order against Papa McHale, where it's like, okay, we can't put him away, but I will grant this lifetime restraining order. He can never come near you. And if he does, you can have him arrested and he'll go to fucking jail. So in October of 2017...
Better than nothing, but
it's better than nothing. But so he's released. I don't even know if he was in jail while he was waiting for this trial. But either way, he was charged, he was not convicted, and he walked in 2016. In 2017, he was arrested again and charged with raping a 55-year-old woman named Susan DeVoe. This incident allegedly occurred at his apartment, once again, on Stevens Street in Peabody. According to court documents and police accounts, DeVoe called police from the apartment, telling them, quote, a man is trying to rape me, and that, quote, he's going to kill me.
Oh my God.
Police were called to the scene and found Papa McHale and DeVoe outside of the apartment building. She reported that Papa McHale woke her up demanding sex, and when she refused, he threw her against a wall and threatened her, which is the same thing that he did to the other woman.
You're just throwing women around left and right.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So this follows a pattern. She managed to break free, thank God, and call for help. Papa McHale denied assaulting her and claimed that she suddenly woke up screaming. I don't know what's going on. Because he'd had so many prior convictions and charges, he was held without bail and had to... First he was arrested, and then he had to endure like a dangerousness hearing. And then...
Dangerousness?
Yeah, basically. It's like to determine whether you can be sent home to await trial or if you should be held. And he was held without bail after that hearing. And then the victim testified in front of a grand jury to give her very compelling testimony that moved the state to officially prosecute. So like she testified in front of a grand jury, they indicted him, and the process began to charge him and take him to trial. However, the legal situation changed dramatically when on April 27th, 2018, Susan DeVoe passed away from kidney failure before the trial had begun for her case.
No.
Prosecutors stated that they could no longer move forward with the case without the victim's testimony.
Fuck.
As a result, the charges were dropped and Mark Papa McHale was released from jail on what many see as a legal technicality.
That's fucked.
So to explain this a little bit deeper, according to legal analyst and Massachusetts School of Law Dean Michael Coyne, even though the victim may have testified before a grand jury that indicted Papa McHale, admitting the grand jury testimony against him at trial would violate his Sixth Amendment right to confront his accuser. Coyne states that while it may seem problematic from a common sense standpoint, the decision to drop the charges is clearly solid ground according to the law.
That fucking sucks.
Yep. This means that because the victim was no longer alive to testify and be cross-examined in court,
it's the cross-examination.
The prosecution could not proceed, leading to Papa McHale's release.
Full release.
Yep. And his release caused significant fear and concern. The daughter of Susan DeVoe expressed her fear for whoever encounters him next, saying, quote, it's really, really sad that obviously we lost my mom and that this man just gets to walk free only because she passed away and she can't be here to speak freely.
Oh, my God. So
Janine Dunphy, that woman who had accused Papa McHale of rape in 2014, but she went to trial in 2016 and he was acquitted. She's also horrified after he was released and all these charges were dropped.
Yeah.
She said, quote, "You feel safe when he's in jail, and then when he gets out, you just wonder. I'm afraid for other women and children that he is going to do the same thing. He will get arrested again. He will do this again." She offered a stark warning, quote, "Watch out. Watch your wives, your daughters, your sisters, because he is not to be trusted."
Oh, my God.
But the loopholes don't end here. Adding to these fears is a crucial point about Papa Mikhail's status on the sex offender registry. Yeah. This is like, it's all so fucking egregious. While he is a registered sex offender with a long history of convictions, his name does not appear on the state's online public registry.
Why not?
This is due to what is being called a loophole. Papa Mikhail was downgraded from a level 3 to a level 2 sex offender when the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court changed classification rules. So he had been a level 3 sex offender that had to be on the public registry, had to be announced like anytime he moved, all of that. He was level 3, but then they adjusted the requirements for each level and found that he no longer fit the level 3 offender. He was now a level 2 offender.
What didn't he do?
Girl, I don't know. I was like too angry to look deeper at that specific thing. But his last conviction for rape occurred before the law was changed to require level 2 sex offenders' names and addresses be listed online. So even with the change that the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court had made, they eventually said, yeah, you might fall at a different level, but level 2s also have to register publicly. But he was reduced from a level 3 to a level 2 before they came back and said, okay, level 2s also have to be in the online public registry.
So his name isn't in
So
there.
his name isn't in there. Because of this, under the law applicable to him, his name does not have to appear on the website because he was downgraded just before the adjusted law requirements for the public registry. It was just a total timing thing. He got downgraded. They hadn't quite changed the law to make sure that level 2s are also in the public registry. And then by the time they changed it, he had already been downgraded to a level 2 that didn't need to put their name on the public registry. So he just snuck in on this weird in-between time.
And that woman dying, also a fucking timing thing.
Yep. This loophole affects many others, and I-Team investigation found that there are thousands of level 2 offenders whose names are hidden from the public. The Sex Offender Registry Board stated that they had 6,002 level 2 offenders, but only 902 names were on the public website, leaving over 5,000 names not publicly searchable online.
Oh my God.
And I think that might just be for Massachusetts. I don't even know if that's necessarily the entire country. There's a lot of sex offenders.
I'm going to Google how many sex offenders in the U.S. Oh, I don't think you're going to like this number.
I'm sure I'm not. It's what? Hundreds of thousands?
Registered sex offenders, almost 800,000.
That's what I'm saying. Then that confirms it. This is only this case is in Massachusetts. Most of the information I looked at was about the Massachusetts sex offender laws. So these numbers, these 6,902 whatever numbers, are only Massachusetts. That confirms it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I know. Information on these individuals can only be obtained by requesting it from the Sex Offender Registry Board or the local police. So somebody random moves into the neighborhood. If you have no idea and they're not listed publicly, what kind of lunatic is like requesting information on their neighbors from the fucking Sex Offender Registry Board or the local police just at random? Like there'd be no way to know.
I've never checked the Sex Offender Registry for my. I'm going to do that right.
Oh, I have.
As soon as we're done.
I have. Everywhere I've ever lived, I've looked at it. I have kids at my house all the time.
I know. I own a child.
You literally have a child. You should definitely look. You can find that map where like it'll have dots near your house. Hopefully not near your house.
Hopefully not.
But yeah. Representative Tom Walsh acknowledged that Papa Mikhail is one of many who have, quote, fallen through the cracks and suggested it's time to review the law, though he noted the challenges in meeting constitutional standards. The Sex Offender Registry Board reportedly feels their hands are tied due to how the law is written. And that's true. Their hands are tied. They can only operate within the confines of the law.
Of a bullshit laws.
Peabody, Massachusetts police did confirm that Papa Mikhail re-registered at their station following his release for the 2018 trial where Susan died. But other than that, like, yeah, he re-registered. But if but he doesn't have to be on the public registry because of that. Like, he is a registered sex offender. You just can't find his name in the public online record. You would have to request specifically his status.
What is the fucking point of having it if you have to specifically request?
I know. It's ridiculous. Because that's the
whole point.
Well, that feels to me like, yeah, it feels pointless. Like, if it's a secret, then there aren't repercussions for people who commit these crimes. And
the onus is on you to check that kind of shit out to even be aware.
Yeah.
Who is that protecting?
I don't know. And, obviously I'm an empathetic person. I want to believe that people can be rehabilitated if there are certain programs where, a very secure level of safety can be established to get off of the offender registry website. Okay, I would be open to that. But, I'm not saying you should be, and often people who are sex offenders are the victims of sex crimes themselves. That's like how, like, I understand that there is humanity here to hold, and public safety is fucking important, and this information is important for people to have.
Yeah.
So this has broader consequences connected to Papa McHale's pattern of meeting women via online dating sites like Tinder and Plenty of Fish, as these sites, if they cross-check at all, which many do not, can only cross-check for public registries that they have access to. So if an offender is not listed publicly but is a registered offender, an app would have no way of knowing that. They don't do background checks to join Tinder.
Oh my God.
So some of these sites will have additional safety measures if you join their paid services.
Oh, it's a premium thing.
Yep, but the free versions of popular dating apps do next to zero due diligence to protect users from offenders. So this next portion I'm going to read is an excerpt from an article in The Cut, and it gave me fucking chills. Quote, imagine the horrifying shock of seeing a man who has raped you appear in your feed of potential matches while you swipe through a dating app, the same one through which you initially met your rapist and to which you have reported him for criminal behavior. That's what multiple women say they've experienced using apps owned and operated by online dating behemoth Match Group, which owns apps such as Tinder, Match, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and 41 more services. According to a new report by ProPublica and Columbia Journalism Investigations, Match Group screens for sexual predators on its paid app Match, so they will run people's names on the paid side through that public registry, which Papa McHale would have snuck through anyway because he wasn't on the public registry.
Right.
But they don't do any screening on their free services, allowing sexual predators to create new profiles on these same sites again and again, even in some cases after they have been court ordered not to be on these apps. They'll just be on them under new emails or fake names.
Fucking do better. Everyone just do fucking better.
It's so sick.
So sick.
The lack of structured, mandated background checking oversight across apps has left users vulnerable to offenders even after they've been added to state sex registries. In 2011, Match user Carol Markin sued the company after the site connected her to a man who'd been convicted of rape 6 times. This wasn't Papa McHale.
Convicted
6 times. This wasn't Papa McHale. This was someone else. But
that is a compulsion. He should not be anywhere near people who can be victimized like that.
Absolutely not. And if he's been convicted 6 times, he has raped.
How many victims does he have?
He has raped more people than I think we could ever possibly fucking know. Oh, There's no way. There's no way. On their second date, after she met him on Match, she told police he raped her and she filed charges against him. And then she sued Match for being like, this guy has been convicted 6 times. How is he even fucking allowed to be on here? And they settled with her. They announced that they would be checking subscribers against state and national sex offender registries. But again, if you're like Papa McHale and you're not on the public registry, they don't have the manpower
You're a fucking ghost.
Submit a detailed background check on every user of their app. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Jesus.
But it hasn't extended that diligence to its free apps at all. So that's only for the paid people. They're like, okay, I'm sorry this happened. We'll cross-check all the paid people on the app.
Paid.
But nothing for the free users. In 2016, according to CJI, the Columbia Journalism Investigations, this woman, Susan DeVoe, the woman who died, reported that she was raped on her third date by a man, Mark Papa McHale, who she met on Match Group site Plenty of Fish. Papa McHale was a 3-time convicted rapist and on the state of Massachusetts registry. The Plenty of Fish service agreement says that it does not conduct background checks on its users. It merely requires that by signing its terms of service, users promise they haven't committed, quote, a felony or indictable offense or crime of similar severity, a sex crime, or any crime involving violence.
I promise.
The concerns about Papa McHale's public visibility are compounded by reports linking him to all these online dating platforms. So, like the woman who got the lifetime restraining order against him, she met him on Plenty of Fish in 2014, and she says she had no idea he was a registered sex offender when they matched. After obtaining her lifetime restraining order against Papa McHale following her own trial, Janine Dunphy was convinced that she would see him again on Match Group dating sites, and she claims she was right, spotting him back on Plenty of Fish in the winter of 2016, which is probably around the time he matched with Susan DeVoe.
Oh my God.
She reported his profile after his most recent release, but says she never heard back from Match Group. A spokesperson for Match Group confirmed that they never checked a sex offender registry for one alleged offender who repeatedly appeared on OkCupid after sentencing, despite being on the public registry and prohibited from using dating apps. The same spokesperson also reportedly stated, quote, there are definitely registered sex offenders on our free products. So even Match is
You should have a whole fucking team of people devoted to this kind of background, very, very basic background
How
stuff.
this read to me is that Match is like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to sneak through on the free product. You should upgrade your product to the paid one.
Like it's a talking point to get people to upgrade.
To get them to pay. Because then we'll at least run people's names against the public registry.
That is so fucked up.
I know. I couldn't fucking believe it. My jaw was on the fucking floor. Like, nobody gives a fuck.
Oh, there's definitely sex offenders on the free version.
The spokesperson just said that.
Jesus Christ.
I can't.
I can't.
So obviously, the situation highlights a significant vulnerability, especially for users unaware that many dating apps do not screen against sex offender registries. I genuinely think that every single person who uses a dating app, I was one of them, should assume that there are no protections being conducted at sign up. So if, I understand this is the modern age of dating. This is how people meet each other. I'm not saying that dating apps are bad. I'm saying that we have to be so cautious and so safe and so diligent when using them because
corporations aren't looking out for you.
They're saying it. They're saying it.
They don't care.
There are definitely registered sex offenders on our free products. End quote, period.
Jesus.
So if Match Group, which owns the majority of the popular apps that we are using, is saying that, then I would just apply that to all of these dating sites. And proceed with fucking extreme caution when you're meeting people. Always tell someone where you're going. Share your location. Meet in a public place. Do not go back to people's homes immediately alone. We have to be so fucking careful because predators are everywhere.
And corporations don't give a shit about you or your safety.
They do not give a fuck. And frankly...
And don't talk to cops.
Don't talk to cops, but also it's just so hard.
Also do report your rape.
I mean, yeah, we want people to feel safe reporting violence and sexual violence against them. Absolutely.
Of course.
And we also know the statistics of actual convictions or things actually making it to trial. And we know that they are abysmally, embarrassingly, insultingly low. Mm-hmm. And so I, for one, will never, and I include you in this, will never judge someone for not reporting their assault. We understand why you wouldn't.
1,000,000,000%. But also, it's something.
But it is a step so that, it just sucks to have to be okay, well, I probably won't get justice for this, but maybe if there is a record and they find a pattern, then eventually this person could be stopped. And that is such a sick and fucking tragic thing to strive for, that maybe if enough of us are raped or assaulted and tell the authorities about it, maybe they'll get a lifetime restraining order, or maybe they'll go to trial. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe if 20 of us report it, 10 of us will be believed and one person will go to trial.
Man,
for
I
it.
wish those were the stats.
It's not.
It's not. It's so much
It's like
less.
100. Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so sick. So the release of Mark Papa McHale, a man with multiple rape convictions due to the tragic death of Susan DeVoe, his fucking victim, underscores the complexities and potential shortcomings of the legal system, coupled with the fact that his name is not publicly searchable on the online sex offender registry. I don't think to this day it is, due to that existing loophole and reports of his presence on free dating apps that do not screen users. His case raises urgent questions about how society balances legal rights with public safety. And like, we're only talking about this one guy who we have testimony and actual convictions to confirm his history of sexual violence, starting from a time when dating apps weren't a thing, into the modern era where he's still doing it, using dating apps that are a thing, and then women being brave enough to say, that guy fucking raped me. He also raped this other woman, and now he's back on Plenty of Fish. Like, what the fuck? So if this is what we know about this one man who still is not in jail, he's free,
Yeah.
he's good, then like, how many others? Like, it's so fucked up. Like, how many others are out there with no convictions on their record who have still committed violent acts of sexual assault, who are using dating apps? Like, it makes me never want to fucking leave my house.
Yeah. This makes me very sad.
It certainly makes me never want to date again.
Oh.
Thank God I'm married, but I swear to God, if anything happens to that man, I'm just going to be a hermit.
Well, what's the point?
And I'm just going to sleep with my queer lady friends.
I'm opting for the gorilla,
I am only fucking people I know.
the bear and the gorilla.
We're choosing the bear. It's the whole argument is that 100 men are wondering if they could take down a gorilla without weapons. And the answer is no, you can't. The answer is go to therapy. Jesus Christ. So
The question in itself is the real answer here.
yeah, it really is. So yeah,
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's really scary. And the reality is that we don't know how many potentially dangerous individuals are like able to just easily fade into the digital or physical landscape unnoticed. Like, and I am not here to fearmonger or say that we should be accusatory of every person that we come across. There's just this weird line of like, these systems are not actually really set up to protect us. They're certainly set up to protect our property. They're certainly set up to protect,
Police.
wealth and political structures and police. And there are certainly things that are under the protection of the justice system. But this kind of shit, like, is not set up that way. And so that puts the burden of due diligence and safety on ourselves and our community members. So, of course, date, fuck, have fun, suck a dick clean off, like, do what you're gonna do.
Deglove that dick.
We don't want you to not step into your sexual joy and not date. And we have to be careful because Match.com, Tinder, they do not give a fuck about you. They want the money of you scrolling. That's it.
Mm-hmm. They want to monetize your eyeballs. That's
They
what say on
don't care
NPR.
who's using those apps. They've said it. A spokesperson said it publicly.
Repeatedly.
So just be really, 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 really careful and yeah, use every tool that you possibly have in your toolbox to date safely. Because this shit'll keep you up at night. This is fucking scary as hell. Ugh.
Say his name again for the people. Google this man if you live in this area.
Mark Papa McHale. Oh, he's so gross too. He's like bald and I'll make sure to upload his photos.
Peabody, Massachusetts.
I don't know if he's still there. God knows where he is now.
Mark Papa McHale.
Mark Papa McHale. Fuck you, you scumbag piece of shit.
Yeah. Papamechal.
And poor Susan DeVoe, poor thing, dies of kidney failure and there's no justice for her attempted assault. None.
That is so tragic.
It's so
I feel
fucked
so
up.
bad for her and her family.
I can't even. She has a daughter.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway.
I have to go garden.
I know.
Ansley, come on. Happy birthday, but
I know at the
Lord.
top I said that this was a really great topic, and now that we're through both
it was
cases,
great. We talked about some very important things. We covered the Japanese dude.
Fuck that guy.
That was a long time coming because that case is so insane.
Ugh, yuck. Well,
happy birthday, Ansley. I have to go garden. I have to go lower my blood pressure.
Yeah, I have to go smoke some weed. We love you. If you want this episode ad-free, please come join us over on Uncorked. We also have our monthly happy hours. We have bonus content like a mansplaining, spooky little bitch, drunk dives. We have, early access to when we have live stuff coming up.
Did we mention ad-free? All episodes.
All episodes. Same day release to your podcast player, babe. With no fucking ads. Come on.
Couldn't be easier. Also, fun announcement. We are back on Cameo.
We are back on Cameo, so you can book us. I keep saying, please book me to break up with your boyfriend. I will do it. And I will.
She's eager.
I'm dying to.
You haven't broken up with a man in a minute.
Oh.
You gotta get it out.
It's been years. I don't think I've broken up with a dude in like 7 years. That's really sad. Because Bill and I started dating like 6 years ago.
I was really never the dumper.
That's too bad.
It was either mutual or not.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you could dump Corey and then reconcile if you just want to get it under your belt.
I guess I was really resistant to defining the relationship. So when I dumped, I kind of just stopped texting.
I've done that. Where I'm like, we were never really together. We were just fucking, and I'm over it. I'm done fucking.
Yeah.
Bye.
Because apart from that, I've only had like 2 other relationships.
I broke up with a guy that I was not seeing for very long, but I found out he was a libertarian, and I was like, ew, we are not compatible. It was like the first time politics, because we had just been fucking, really. It was a situation of convenience. But
what did he say?
I mean, he didn't really put up a fight. He was kind of a lunatic. And I was like,
no, what did he say that revealed himself as a libertarian?
I don't quite remember. This was after the first Trump, at the end of the first Trump term, I want to say, because Trump got elected while Bland and I were still together, but we broke up like within a year or so of him taking office. And then I just had some really fun single years, and I was hooking up with this dude, and I don't remember the exact conversation, but politics came up somehow. I feel like we were watching TV, and he made some comment that like really didn't sit right with me. It felt like vaguely racist, which if it felt vaguely racist at the time, it was probably very racist, and I just was not in a place to clock exactly what was going on, but it made me really uncomfortable. And then we had a conversation about it. We had kind of like a fight, and then I was like, I'm fucking going home. Like, this is gross. And then I was an idiot, and I think I hung out with him again, and like the topic of abortion somehow came up, and I was like, what? And then some of his weird, then I think it was that conversation where he was like, well, I'm a libertarian, and I was like, all right, well, this is clearly never going to work out, and you're suddenly repulsive to me after all of this, so bye.
Yeah, what if you got pregnant?
Girl, I have been goalied up like triple down for so long. I don't think. Also, I genuinely don't think my vessel could support life even if I pulled the goalie. And I don't think it has been able to support life for a long time.
I can't imagine you going through a full pregnancy with all of your health issues already. You'd be throwing up 100% of the time.
I wouldn't make it 2 days. No. I wouldn't make it 2 days. I'd pee on that stick, and I would be at Planned Parenthood the same day, going, get it the fuck out. Get it out.
Quick turnaround.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Anyway, dump your libertarian, right-leaning, crazy partners.
Fuck buddy. Via Cameo, via Amanda.
Via Cameo. I'll take good care of it for you. We got you.
She's itching to do it.
Fucking chomping at the bit to do it. To ruin a man's life. Are you kidding?
Yo, man, I love Drew Offwallow so much.
I love her too.
If she did cameos, people paying her to break up with their boyfriends. You're funny.
Oh no, she's the queen.
A queen.
She's a fucking queen. No, she's incredible. I hope. I mean, she better be rich because she is just so deserving of every fucking penny that comes in and every opportunity that comes into her lap. But until Drew Offwallow can provide that service for you, I'm here, babes. So tag us in.
You're the you're the Temu Drew
I am
Offwallow.
Temu Drew Offwallow. I am white Temu Drew Offwallow for this specific service.
For only $30.
I'll tear his ass apart.
Tear it open.
Yeah, just give me a few keynotes and I'm on it.
I can't wait.
Mama, I'll take care of the rest.
Okay, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully we'll see you over on Uncorked and Cameo. And Ansley, well, hope you enjoyed.
Nope, just leave it there. Well,
see you next week.
bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos, sources, and other resources, head to wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, check out our premium channel at wineandcrimepodcast.com/uncorked. Cheers!